Yo, what's up everybody? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on for the next hour to answer all your snowboard questions. If you guys are new to the chat, we do this every Thursday at 3 p.m. And yeah, just stoked to be on here for the next hour to talk to you guys about snowboarding. Any questions you guys have about gear or progression or tricks, anything to do with snowboarding, definitely hit me up and I'm gonna read your questions and comments. Also, just want to talk to you guys a bit at some point in the chat about the new, new to me, the GoPro Max 360. So I just recently picked up this camera, I guess it was like 5 or 6 days ago. And I've been using the GoPro 8 for the last, 10 months. And before that, been using the GoPros, but this is my very first time using the GoPro Max. So I did one video where I tested it out, learned how to edit with it, and it's pretty cool. I'm really excited to use this camera and really excited to use it for filming snowboarding because I think it opens up a lot of different options for filming snowboarding. Straight away, like the one thing that stands out is that you never have to point the camera. Like it's filming in 360, so you never have to worry about not getting something in the frame. It's always gonna be in the frame with the 360 GoPro Max. So I'm stoked to use this camera more. I can't wait to test it out snowboarding. The difficult thing with it was actually learning how to edit with it. So that's pretty new. But if you guys have any questions about the Max as well, hit me up. But let's see who's in the chat. Let's give some shout outs to people that have tuned in. Thanks again for all you guys for popping in on your Thursday. It's gonna pop out the chat here. And all right, we got, huge shout out to the people who showed up early for all you guys. El Stacker Adventures, what's up, man? Hope you're having a good time down in Idaho. Yatsa says hello. What's up, Yatsa? Lucas, Stoke Dog 8, Shropshire Lad from the UK, what's up? Highland Cow, what's up, Highland Cow? Thanks for hanging out, man. And Tomer's on here. Lucas watching from California. Tomer's from Manchester, UK. Thank you guys for tuning in. All the Europeans for staying up late. Appreciate it. And Sir Ludwig is watching from Denmark too. What's up, Denmark? Sweet. Let's scroll down and get to the first question. Who's got a question for me here? Tomer's saying, Kev's staring at me so intently, it's starting to get weird. I was just preparing, just getting into the zone. But sorry for the intense stare. And Jose Bautista is on here. What's up, brother? All the way from New York City, New Jersey. What's up, Jose? Oh, Tomer asking about the recent video, saying it looked like you put a bottle and threw it off the cliff with you. So yeah, in the video where I tested out the GoPro Max, I noticed that in some ski and snowboard edits, what they'll do is they'll actually go off of a jump and then holding the GoPro Max, and then while they're in the air, they'll let the camera go. So then you can get like the perspective of the whole jump and the person like hitting the jump from the perspective of the camera as it's like flying away from you. So a pretty crazy angle. So I tested that type of shot out, cliff jumping into water. And so I wasn't sure if this was gonna float. I was thinking it was probably gonna sink because it's a little bit heavy. So what I did is I taped a bottle to the end of the handle. So the camera actually makes the whole like stick disappear, but you could see the fat like pop bottle at the bottom. So it was like a 2-liter bottle, and that's what was keeping the camera floating. So if you guys have seen that video, you'll notice that there's a pop bottle taped to the stick. But I had to do it. Something had to keep it afloat. And but great question, man. Somebody's asking, another good one. Do you have any tips for riding switch? Asks David. Switch riding, always bring it back to like a beginner area. And just remember that for riding switch, you can already do your heels, you can already do your toes. The only thing you're adding in is having that new foot go first down the hill. So what you could do is, I think some people, they try to start on too much of a difficult run when learning switch. So take it back to an easy beginner run. Slow down your turns. Like your turns are going to be much slower than your normal ones. So give yourself time, be patient, and yeah, just focus on getting that new foot going first. If you can get your new foot going first down the hill for a second, then that's really going to help you to complete the turns. Good question, man. But yeah, riding switch is so key. So many, when I started really getting comfortable with switch, that's when a lot of like the snowboard tricks started coming for me. 180s, board slides, all of that got easier once I got used to switch. Nate saying he's in Florida, can't snowboard at the moment. Yeah, same here in Whistler. It's summer, so there's no snow. But yeah, another thing I want to talk to you guys about is I got a snowboard trip coming up to Switzerland. So starting to pack for that trip, getting everything organized. I got my snowboard bags, snowboard travel bags at a storage, and I'm gonna wax my boards as well. So if you guys are doing a snowboard trip, one tip is to get your board waxed ahead of time. Maybe look at the temperature that it's gonna be at the place you're going snowboarding, and then wax your board for that temperature. And that's like a big help I find with snowboard trips. And then also pack as light as possible. I'm definitely going through my snowboard gear. It's going to be summertime riding, so it's going to be warm. So I'm trying to travel as light as possible. All right. Oh, we're getting some like cool updates too from down in South America. If anyone's watching from South America, from New Zealand, from Australia, it'd be awesome to hear about how the conditions have been for your guys' winter. All right, so Talon says, I know I can hit a plastic tube. I've done it a lot, but I'm scared to hit a metal rail. Any tips to get over the fear of falling? Yeah, metal rails are definitely intimidating. They can be scary. They're metal, they're hard. I feel like if you start off, if you have a helmet, and also if you have impact shorts, that can give you a little bit more confident having especially for me, impact shorts. Like I'm always afraid of hitting my tailbone. So a bit of safety gear helps, but yeah, get good at the plastic features first. And then once you have that confidence in the plastic features and you have like a bunch of different tricks on them, then when you go to take it to a metal feature, you can start like very easy, like 50-50, and also find like the smallest metal feature to start. So find something that's small, that's easy, that's metal, and then yeah, just go back to doing your easiest tricks on it first. And then even for me too, when I see like if there's like a metal rail that I've never hit, the first time I hit it, I may plan to even just like go on top for a second and then come off the other side. So I'm almost planning my exit, and that just kind of like is a way to like try it at the start, get a little bit of confidence, and then maybe the next time try to stay on a little bit longer, and yeah, then always doing that easiest trick first. But yeah, snowboarding and some of those metal features are definitely intimidating, and it's just about building your way up to them. All right, we got Noah says, have you tried the bindings where the high back folds down and you put your foot in? So, oh, do you like them? So yeah, those are like the rear entry bindings, like flows. I've never owned a pair myself. I think they're good for convenience, for getting into the bindings very quick. The one part that can be a bit tricky is that you always have to be on your toe edge or on your knees to put your foot into the binding. So you're not always in that situation. Sometimes you may be sitting down, or you may be on your heels, or even on like a steep slope with like 1 or 2 feet out. And the fact that you always have to be on your toes to get that back foot in can be a problem sometimes. The other problem I've seen people have with those is that the snow can get packed inside, and it just is like one extra step sometimes, having to really clear all the snow out of that like pocket. So that's one issue that you could have. I've always stuck with the traditional like strap bindings, and I find that they work fine. So I would recommend just the traditional straps. Luca wants to know, what is your favorite snowboard? I would say my favorite park snowboard has been the GNU Headspace. I rode that the entire last season. Really loved it. First started riding it in New Zealand, and I was like so stoked on that board. The magnet traction, the camber, the stiffness to it, everything I really loved about the GNU Headspace. And I felt like it did make me a better park rider, to be honest. Like it was just, had those like tools built into it to help me ride park and learn some different tricks. And I think it like comes across in some of the videos too. I feel like I just felt really good in the park over this last year with help, thanks to that board too, some help from that board. Then my favorite paddle board has been the Libtech Orca. So the Orca, a bit shorter, wider board, and has just been so much fun in the powder. The extra camber zones under the feet just gave me some stability for riding at high speeds through the powder. But this year, I'm gonna try some different boards. I want to like keep trying new boards, keep trying to like test different things out, and give you guys the feedback as well. So we'll see if it remains. Those boards remain my favorite or not. But yeah, we'll find out. Lucas wants to know, did you get the water out of the microphone? Yeah, so with the GoPro Max, it is waterproof, but if you do get it wet, then I believe that this is the microphone here, like 1, 2 microphones, and then a third one on the side. And so if you do get the microphones wet, the audio is going to be muffled. So it was getting in the water and it was getting submerged. And I think when I did my audio towards the end of the day, I thought I got all the water out, but there was still some water messing up the microphone. So that's one thing to be aware of. And that's actually a tough thing in snowboarding. When you're out filming, the snow is getting the mic wet, getting the camera wet. And yeah, it's audio is tricky when you're dealing with the outdoors. So next time I just got to maybe like record myself, or like if you guys are doing it, record the audio and then listen to it back on the spot to see if it actually recorded clearly. No one wants to know tips on 360s. I already have mastered 180s. Awesome, man. Congrats on the 180s. I would say if you want to take it to 360, you can still do them on smaller side hits or a small jump. I actually recommend doing them on like a small side hit to start. And for the 360, it's just about like jumping a little bit higher and just getting more wind up. So for the 360, like what I'm thinking about is like for the backside, I'm like facing my upper body forward. And then as I come off the jump, I'm really rotating all the way around to the back to create that rotation. If you're doing a front side spin, you're kind of like you're winding up, pulling back. And then as you come off the lip, you rotate towards it. So I think that's the two most important things. You don't need like a bigger jump or more speed, but you need more pop and you need more like wind up. All right, I saw a super chat. Oh, there was a super chat. It's gone. Super chat's gone, retracted. Okay, well, appreciate it anyway, but that's all good. Okay, let's see. Let's find another good question here. Oh, Tom Bolox is saying 5 meters of snow in Coralco, Chile. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I've been keeping an eye on Chile, and you guys have been getting an incredible winter, tons of snow, but I guess the resorts haven't been open. So, man, for everyone doing backcountry, that's pretty incredible. All that snow definitely makes it more dangerous with the avalanche risk. But yeah, that's impressive. Talon says, what's your thoughts on the T-bar that they permanently removed from the top of Whistler? Oh, wow. I didn't know they did that. So yeah, there was a T-bar there, and oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, because that T-bar comes in handy sometimes. Like when peak chair, the problem with the chairlifts at the top of the mountain is when there's a lot of wind or there's a lot of heavy snowfall. Sometimes they have to keep the chairlifts closed mainly because of wind. And then beyond that, if there's avalanche risk, it takes some time for the patrollers to make sure everything is safe. So a lot of times the peak chair on Whistler will remain closed until all those things are done and there's no wind. But yeah, sometimes what happens is the T-bar will actually open first. and the T-bar will give you like, bring you up, and the T-bar, you don't have to worry about wind. So that's a bummer if they've taken it off, because now if there's wind, you only have one option. That's too bad. Maybe they'll put something in its place. Sake wants to know, where are you going? So the snowboard trip we're going to Zermatt, Switzerland. So we've been looking around the world to see where we could snowboard, and the terrain park in Zermatt looks really, really good. So that's why we chose Switzerland. Also, Switzerland recently opened their borders to Canadians, so we're able to go. So that we're going to Zermatt, Switzerland. Rami wants to know why the trip to Oregon got canceled. To be honest, it was just poor planning. I don't really want to tell you the exact reason, but I would just say that there was some mistakes made when planning the trip. Devere Descalo says, which snowboard gloves do you recommend? So I recommend mittens. So a lot of people just refer to mittens as gloves too, but I prefer mittens. I find that mittens like keep your fingers warmer. And one mitt that I've liked the past few seasons have been the Analog Gentry mitt. I think they're sort of like a mid-range mitt. They're not Gore-Tex, but they do keep your hands warm, and they're kind of like a mid-weight mitt. So they're not like too light, they're not too heavy, kind of like right in between. So the Analog Gentry. And but this past season, I also picked up sort of like a limited edition Volcom Gore-Tex mitt, and that was really comfortable and kept my hands dry. So the two mitts I would recommend is Analog Gentry. I think they're probably a little bit less expensive because they're not Gore-Tex, but they're also not going to keep your hands as dry. Or if you want to spend a bit more money, then Volcom Gore-Tex mitt, I think they fit and feel and are really good too. And I always go with like that mid-weight mitt, just like right in the middle. I find for my hands, they don't get too cold or too warm if I have just like the mid-weight mitten. All right, shout out to some more people that have been joining in. If you guys get the chance to, hit that like button. And yeah, just really appreciate you guys all coming on here to hang out. It's every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. I say 3 p.m., but everyone's in a different place all over the world. So 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or like Vancouver time. But yeah, thank you guys all for hanging out. And yeah, let's get to some more questions. Levi JW says, any major problems with the GoPro 360? So far, no problems. Yeah, the one issue was with the mic, but it was because I got the camera like submerged into water. So I think as long as you don't submerge the camera, you're not going to have any mic issues that I know of yet anyway. But the one, it's not a problem, but there is more editing. Like there's more like, it's going to take you longer to edit with this kind of camera than a typical GoPro, because in editing, what you're normally doing is just like chopping up the clips and deleting stuff that you don't want, just keeping the clips that you want, lining them all up, and then exporting a video. But with this, you have to not only chop up the clips and delete stuff, but you also have to point the camera where you want it to go, which is actually pretty cool. So you have to tell the camera where to look in editing, and you also have to you can zoom in or zoom out. So you can zoom all the way out to make it look like a tiny planet, or you can zoom it really close in to give it that just like normal video camera look or normal GoPro look. So that's the one thing that's, I guess, it's not a problem, but it's just more learning to how to edit with this camera. But I think like if you got this camera and you learn some of like the basic editing tools for it, it'll be just one of those things, like with practice, you'll get better at it. But yeah, it's not like totally straightforward. It's a little bit of time and practice to get used to editing with the GoPro Max. But I'm yeah, super stoked to have it. Gonna film a ton with it in Switzerland. And a good beginner question from Sir Ludwig says, "Hi, I'm new to snowboarding. How do I know if I'm goofy or regular?" So what I've always done, and this is how I figured out that I was goofy, is that when I was a kid and I would so here in Canada in the wintertime, we get a lot of ice on the ground. So when I would run and slide on ice, I would always put my right foot out first. And so that always just felt very natural to be sliding right foot first. So if you can do that, like if you don't have ice, if it's not winter, you could also like slide across like a wooden floor or like some kind of slippery surface and just see which foot you put out first. And for me, it's always been the right foot first, just always feels more natural. The other ways people do it is like you might get somebody to go behind you and then just give you a little push from behind and see which foot you step out with first. So all those kinds of things can help you to figure out which one is your front foot. And right foot first is goofy, left foot first is regular. Oh, we got a super chat from Osvaldo. Thanks for the support, Osvaldo. It says, thoughts on the Jones Ultra Mountain Twin. It's a 9 in stiffness. Do you think it will be difficult to do jumps, park, etc.? Wow, it's a 9. I would say that if you're an expert park rider, then a 9 won't be a problem. But for beginner to even like low advanced park riders, I would say a 9 is too stiff. It's just going to make butters impossible. It's going to be, I think, very catchy. So it's not going to be like a forgiving board. So with a softer board with some rocker, you're going to have like a bit more like play with turns and it not being so catchy. So a 9 out of 10 is like, equate that to aggressiveness. That's going to be like an aggressive park board. So more likely to catch an edge unless you're like super high advanced and riding at really high speeds. So at high speeds, it's going to feel like really stable. But yeah, it's like when you're trying to, for example, if you're learning a trick on a box or an easy rail and on the approach, you're kind of doing some like speed check type of turns. It's not going to be like the most playful and quick turning board. It's going to be aggressive. So I would keep that in mind. Osvaldo, if you're an expert park rider, I think it's perfect. But if it's below that, I think it may be too aggressive. It would definitely be way too aggressive for me, a 9 stiffness. That's intense. Awesome. Okay, Alan with an awesome question says, hi, Kevin, which boards are you taking to Zermatt? So I'm going to take one board for sure. So my park board, I'm going to take the Capita Outsiders with the Union Strata binding. So that's going to be my park setup. And I'm debating whether or not I'm going to take, I don't think there's no chance of powder. So I'm not going to bring the Battalion Surfer, but there's a chance of carving. And so I do have the Jones Ultramind expander. So that would be a fun board to carve with, but I don't know if I'm going to bring it for sure because I don't think there's a lot of room for like free riding. It's just going to be like a glacier with a park. So I'll probably only bring my park board. And my wife Jill is coming to Switzerland to snowboard as well. So I have to fit her board and gear in with my snowboard and gear. So I'll try to keep it light so that we can pack double amount of snowboard gear into one bag. And Jill, she has the GNU Velvet, so a ladies park board. But yeah, good question, man. Once the snow returns, though, I'll be bringing one of these 2 boards as well. I'll probably always bring 2 boards with me on all my snowboard trips, especially unless it's like calling for just crazy snow and powder the whole time. Then I would maybe just bring 1 or 2 powder boards. Lucas with a cool question says, do you think you can make a video on mandatory gear or different gear like sunglasses or goggles, regular jacket or snow jacket, snowboard socks or regular socks, etc.? Yeah, that's an interesting like video idea. It's like snowboard gear that's not what is mandatory and what's not necessarily mandatory. Yeah, like sunglasses, that's a good one. Yeah, I could do like kind of like more like a casual snowboard gear video. Maybe, yeah, snowboard gear that you could wear snowboarding, or you could just wear it casually. I like that. Yeah, thanks for the tip, Lucas. Yeah, what do I have? I don't think I have anything near me, but I do. What kind of sunglasses do I have? I do have electric sunglasses, I believe, and yeah, I've been stoked on the electric sunglasses, and I've been wearing Adidas. I have the Adidas Ultra Boost shoes, which I've been really stoked on those as well. But yeah, that's a good video idea. So maybe I'll make a full video on gear like that. Joel says, have you ever been wakeboarding? Yeah, I usually love wakeboarding at least a couple times in the summers. The last few years, though, I've actually been doing so many snowboard trips that the times when I would be normally wakeboarding, I'm snowboarding. So that's been what I've been doing. So I haven't been able to wakeboard in a few years, but I love it. Yeah, being out on a wakeboard boat with your friends and just like going around the lake is definitely one of my favorite things in the world to do. Tomer says, how can you learn skills for the park without being in a park? My indoor doesn't have featured that often, so when there is, I'm not ready to hit them. Good question. So how can you learn skills for the park without being in a park? Yeah, definitely. So there's lots of things you can work on outside the park that translate into the park. So you can work on ollies, work on your nollie. You can even do like carves. You can do like a carve and then hold, get like a mute grab or an indie grab as you're carving your snowboard. So yeah, there's different ways. Get a deep carve, go for a grab. You can also get into different butter tricks. So learning how to do different style butter tricks can teach you how to like twist and turn your body, which a lot of butter tricks can then translate into tricks on a box. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things like that. So yeah, butter tricks, grabbing while carving, ollies, nollies, and yeah, there's probably even some more. And just like the basic body movements too that you see people use in the park. For example, if you're going for your first 50-50, you can, outside the park, just practice riding with your board straight and completely flat for like 10 or 15 feet. And that's like a good practice for when you take it into the park and into a box. So yeah, and there's a few videos on the channel where I talk about things you can do outside the park to help you practice for when the park is open. But awesome question, man. All right. Osvaldo says, is TJ going? We can sneak him into Canada. Yeah, it sucks because Americans at the moment can't travel to Switzerland. But if it changes, I've extended the invitation to TJ. So if Switzerland opens to Americans, and if TJ decides he wants to come, we got a spot for him. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully things start to go back to normal, and we can get some snowboarding in. I would love to be able to go down south to snowboard later this summer as well. So we'll see if that opens. Joel says, I just got a pair of Ultra Boost and I love them. Nice, man. Yeah, those Adidas Ultra Boost are so comfy. Highland Cow wants to know, ever thought of doing competitive snowboarding? Competitive snowboarding is definitely something I think you need to get into like when you're very young. There's some like kids out competing in snowboarding here in Whistler who are like 11, 12 years old, who are absolutely like killing it, doing an amazing job, like learning tricks, going big and like doing like way better tricks than I could ever do. So I think I've definitely missed my window of competing in snowboarding, but I wish I had have gotten into it when I was like, say 12 or 13. But I didn't really start snowboarding until I was 15, which is still a bit late for getting into competing. So yeah, it's definitely like, you definitely need to start like super, super young. But if there was like an adult competition just for fun, I would definitely check that out. I know when I worked for the mountain here at Whistler Blackcomb, sometimes they would have like staff contests, and those were really fun, just to like hike a feature and have like a few judges judging just for fun. And I think they would give out prizes for, you know, like it wasn't even like best trick. It was more just like creative things that they would come up with. So I've done fun things like that, but never in like a real professional competitive sense. Ricardo says, any thoughts on the Volcom TDS INF jacket? It seems pricey, but any advantages of that jacket versus layering up? Cool. I'm not totally... So is that the Inferno jacket, Volcom TDS? So I think what you're saying is that that's like an insulated jacket. It kind of depends. Like for me, if it's an insulated jacket, I prefer just to have like a shell, because with a jacket that's a shell, if it's a warmer day on the mountain, you don't have to have too many layers underneath, and you can actually keep pretty like cool. But then if it is a very cold day, then with the shell, you just put on a few extra layers and you're good. The problem with a jacket that is insulated is that it's warm all the time. So when it's a spring or warmer day, then you have to go with that warmer jacket. So just something to consider. I would say, yeah. And then price wise, I feel like in snowboard gear, a lot of times you do get what you pay for. So yeah, if you want that warmth, then you could possibly pay for it. Or go with a thinner jacket, or maybe something that's Gore-Tex for the same price, if there is something, and then just put on some layers underneath. Oh, Reggie moderating. Reggie, Red's Cap. Thank you, man. Thanks for being an epic moderator. Kodo says, I'm a competitive racer and I'm 15. Nice, man. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta be young. I know a lot of, that's the perfect, I hope you do well, man. Keep it up, keep racing. I hope you're killing it out there. Noah Beck says, if you plan on fingerboarding, a good inexpensive setup is a brand called People's Republic Fingerboards. They make some pretty good stuff for the price. Awesome. Thanks, Noah. Yeah, I was actually, about a month ago, I was going to buy one of David Jones's pro fingerboards, because he's killing it on the fingerboard game. Love watching David's videos. But I'm going to look and see if I can buy a setup through David. But if I can't get one through David, because I want to support him, if I can't get one through him, if they're all sold out, then I'll check out the People's Republic fingerboards. Awesome, man. Isaac wants to know, what bindings should I get? I've been riding for about 2 years. Isaac, good question, man. It kind of depends on what you like to do. If you like to ride the terrain park and learn tricks, then you want to get a softer binding. And some of the inexpensive, the softer bindings are typically a bit more inexpensive. Or if you like carving, powder, going fast, then you want to get a stiffer binding. So let me know maybe which you prefer to do, and then I could give you some ideas from there. True to this, DG says, why is your Capita board goofy? Yeah, I kind of, I have like a funky thing going on. So my Capita board is set up, it's actually set up twin. It's like totally twin. So that one, but I am goofy. So that one I'll be riding goofy. But my battalion, I've actually set it up regular. And that was because when I was setting it up, I was also making a video about setting it up. So I was like doing all these crazy things. And at the end, I realized that I set it up regular. So I still need to switch my powder board around to goofy. Shadow says, does different binding setups help with jumps and riding reverse? Definitely, yeah. If you want to ride reverse or ride switch, basically being able to ride in either direction, I recommend setting your stance up so that it's like a twin stance. So I do positive 15 in the front and negative 15 in the back. and I try to make it like directly center of the board. That way, no matter which way you're riding the board, it's gonna feel the same in either direction. Talon says, I asked about the Dakine Heli Pro 20 liter versus 12 liter, and I picked up the 20 liter. And I was really stoked about my decision. I think I made the right choice. Thanks for giving an opinion. Awesome. Stoked that it helped. Yeah. I think the 20 liter, I believe, is the one I have as well. And it's like a good size for like a day pack. So you can put a lot of different stuff in there. Compared to the 12 is like very small. So that's almost like, it's just a bit too small. The 12 liter is maybe for like if you want to wear your bag while you're like running or like doing some kind of activity, where the 20 liter, it's not like ideal. Like you wouldn't want to like run around with a 20 liter bag on your back, but it's, you can definitely get a lot more stuff in there. So stoked that, you like that's a good bag. I've had Dakine Heli Pros for 4 or 5 years now. All right. Taco E says, "G'day, Kevin. I missed the start. Did you make it to the Chocolate Mountain in Switzerland?" Not yet. So this is still fake. I'm gonna be in a real mountain town soon. So we'll be there. I think I arrive on the 23rd of July. We'll be in Zermatt, Switzerland. And yeah, so it's the Chocolate Mountain. So if you guys have ever had a Toblerone bar, the Toblerone, like the packaging there's a picture of the Matterhorn, and that's in Zermatt. So that'll be cool. It's like very scenic. It'll be amazing to be out there in the town, getting the views of the Matterhorn. I've got we'll be taking the GoPro Max 360 with me, do a lot of filming on this. I also picked up a new drone. So I got the Mavic Air 2. So before I had the Mavic Spark drone, which was a really fun drone to have. It was like really small, compact, and like easy to travel with. But I wanted to get something that could fly a bit faster and last a bit longer and get some like better quality video too. So I picked up the Mavic Air. Actually, I have it right here. I'll show you guys. I got the Mavic Air 2. And yeah, I think this will capture some pretty cool scenes in Switzerland. The views in the Alps are absolutely incredible. Like the mountains are so steep, it's like so picturesque. So yeah, I got this guide to take to Switzerland. But yeah, Mavic Air 2. There's a few clips of it in my last video as well, so I'm pretty stoked on the quality so far. Isaac Black, so following up from the binding question, says, I'm looking towards carving. Yeah, so for a carving binding, I would recommend, there's two bindings that I've ridden in the last few years that I really like for more aggressive style riding, like carving and going fast. So the first one are the Now Drive bindings. So I've actually got the Now Drives. They're set up on my Jones Ultra Mind Expander. So yeah, stiffer binding, gives you that stability, very comfortable straps around your ankle and around your toe. So I like the Now Drives for carving. And I also like the Union Atlas. So before the drives, I had the Union Atlas. And again, the straps are very comfortable. The ankle strap was like very 3D molded, which I thought was nice and comfortable. And they're also a stiffer binding. So they were like, I think the Atlas are around a 7 or an 8 for stiffness. So when you go to make the turn or make the carve, it really transfers your movements into the board. So giving you all that quick response that you need. So I recommend those two bindings. El Stacker is saying, cannonball the like button. Thanks, brother. El Stacker, what have you been up to, man? Let us know what life has been like in Boise. Have you been cliff jumping or getting into some lakes or rivers lately? Or anyone out there? Has anyone been into some lakes or rivers? Ricardo's saying, looking forward to those drone shots. Are you going to have it follow you down the mountain? I don't know, but I'll definitely get some drone shots. It's always like a question of whether or not you can actually excuse me guys, about where you can fly the drone. So a lot of times you can't fly it in the resort. It's like off limits. So maybe I'll have to talk to some people there and see like what the rules are. I'm sure you're not allowed to, but maybe they'll make an exception if I can fly it like before the resort opens or after. But I'll see once I get there. Luke is saying, if you're going to the Matterhorn, have you been to the Matterhorn in Disneyland? It's a very important question. I've never been to Disneyland, so I haven't seen the Matterhorn in Disneyland. Jonathan saying, I learned so much from you. Thanks, man. Awesome. I'm happy that the videos helped. And yeah, Jonathan, appreciate the comment. All right. Tomer is saying, any mid to soft bindings that are not too expensive? Yeah, definitely. So some mid to soft bindings. So a couple, a pair that I rode last year, the bent metal transfer bindings, they're kind of like a mid to soft binding, and they weren't too expensive. So I'd recommend those. And also something like the Union contacts are also like a fairly soft and inexpensive binding as well. So yeah, maybe check out those two. Hello Kitty wants to know, why do you always have a hat on? Yeah, so I got the SnowboardProCamp beanie on, so I gotta be wearing my merch. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's picked up a beanie, and we're gonna have some new beanies coming probably. Well, they will be coming this summer, but some new beanies coming out for before the fall, so we can get some new SPC beanies out there. And Alan says, hi Kevin, I've been backpacking. Lake Aloha near Lake Tahoe is gorgeous. I found the Fountain of Youth, from the Casey Willax recent video. Awesome, Alan. That's amazing, dude. Yeah, shout out to Casey Willax. He's out there killing it, just crushing it with the snowboard and wakeboard and all kinds of different surfing videos. And yeah, he did a video where they like did this 2-day hike up to a place that was called the Fountain of Youth, and looks amazing. It's just like a glacier pond that they were snowboarding across. Yeah, that's like some of my favorite kind of riding is in the springtime when you get some of those big like glacier puddles. And you can go like riding across them. It's so much fun and like so risky too, because you don't want to fall into the water. So that's pretty fun. Amy Mike Peterson says, have you ever shredded in Minnesota? No, I've never been to Minnesota, but I've heard that there's lots of great snowboarding there. Lots of tow ropes for the terrain park, so getting those quick laps in. And yeah, we'll have to visit Minnesota at some point. Kaz wants to know, Kevin, do you have to self-isolate once you hit Europe? No, but when I come back to Canada, I do have to isolate for 2 weeks. So on the way there, it's all good. We'll arrive, check into the Airbnb, go snowboarding for, I believe, like 3 weeks. But then on the way back, yeah, we have to isolate in Canada for 2 weeks. So that's kind of annoying. But it's just what it is what it is. Maybe they'll change the rules by then. Hopefully things get better and they can change it. Luca wants to know if we're going to New Zealand again, and we should try going to the Remarkables. But yeah, at the moment, New Zealand is closed off to the world. So no chance of going to New Zealand. Yeah, again, just waiting for New Zealand to open up. And Wheels 13 says, can skateboarding help out with snowboarding? I started skating a year ago and I find it helps. Yeah, definitely. Skateboarding challenges your balance and improves your balance for snowboarding for sure. It's probably the best thing you can do to train for snowboarding in the off season is to skateboard, definitely. Brian says, you know anything on getting Malavita versus Cartel bindings for riding? Yeah, so the Malavita and Cartel bindings by Burton, definitely some good bindings there. In the past, like before or when I started the channel, I think I had Malavitas and Cartels. The problem I ran into with both of those bindings, one was the EST system, so like the channel system on the Burton boards where you just have like one screw on each side of the binding. I always found that came loose on me, even if I was like up there making sure it was tight. Sometimes it would still come loose. So I wasn't a fan of that, the EST system. And also on the Malavitas, maybe both. When they went to the double-sided ladder, I found there was times where my binding would actually get stuck on my foot. Like it would be tight and it would be cranked down and then it would get stuck and then my foot would get locked in there. So after that happened a few times, I decided to try some different bindings. So I've not had the best history with those bindings, but maybe they've fixed the problem since then, but I don't know about it at the moment. And Ty is saying, how do you keep your GoPros warm when you're not on the chairlift or just not using them? Yeah, so sometimes, so like if it's really cold and I've got my GoPro Max or my GoPro, and if anyone's used GoPros for filming, especially like in the wintertime, you know that the battery dies fairly quickly. So I'll bring like 5 or 6 or 7 batteries up with me. And if I feel like the battery's running out like very quick, like in Japan, we had some of the coldest days of snowboarding. And what you can do is just like put it like under your jacket, under your armpit, somewhere warm under your jacket to keep it from getting too cold. So I would do that quite a bit on those like super cold days. Also, if the lens starts to fog, sometimes like putting it under your armpit actually helps to defog it. So, but yeah, it's tough. I recommend bringing extra batteries for the GoPro and then throw it under your jacket someplace warm when you're not using it. All right. Rob also says, keep the batteries inside your sweater. Yeah, keeping the batteries in a warm pocket helps as well, for sure. Kodo wants to know my opinion on Signal snowboards. So I haven't actually had the chance to ride a Signal board before. They do it a bit differently. It's like the subscription board service or program. And so I haven't seen them in the stores here in Whistler. And I don't know if they actually ship boards up to Canada. They might. But yeah, I've not had the chance to ride a Signal board. They have a cool YouTube channel though, where they put up where they create some like weird snowboard. Like they actually they've built like a glass snowboard and different like crazy designs in snowboarding. So their YouTube videos are really cool. They're called Every Third Thursday with Signal Snowboards, but haven't had the chance to ride one yet. Amy Mike says favorite rail/jump park board. Favorite rail jump park board. Yeah, favorite boards for sure for both would be the GNU Headspace. Oh, Ricardo says, my friend gave me a USB recharger hand warmer. I just put it in a pocket with it to keep the batteries warm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great one too. USB, hand warmer. Very cool. So yeah, you can use one of those. They also sell those like little packets of something you like shake it up and it heats up to keep your hands warm. You could throw that in with your batteries or your GoPro as well. And Kodo's saying he has the Signal Wow 2020. Nice, man. El Stacker wants to know, where is everyone watching from? So I'm coming to you guys from Whistler, BC, Canada. I've been in Canada. It's the summertime here. And if you guys haven't shared, let us know where you guys are watching from. And also, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. And just a reminder that I do the live chats every Thursday at 3 p.m. 3 3 p.m. Pacific time. Unless I'm like going, like when I'm in Switzerland though, I'll probably have to change the time because there's an 8-hour time difference. So, but I'll let you guys know. I'll give you guys some warning. Wheels says, I'm thinking about doing a 540 this season. Any tips? I've done one accidentally, but it freaked me out a little. Nice, Wheels. Yeah, I would say first get really comfortable with all 4 360s. I feel like by getting all the different 360s down, that helps you with the 540s as well. And also get the 360s all with grabs. The grabs really help. And yeah, maybe if you get the chance, if there's like a trampoline center near you, you can actually practice your 540 spins on a trampoline with a tramp board first. I think that really helps. And yeah, beyond that, it's a day when you're feeling good with your threes and you just overspin it and you land 540. So, and figure out like which 360 feels the best and which one you would want to like add on that extra 180. But yeah, 540s are super fun. For me, my favorite 540 is actually a cab 540. So I don't know why, but switch front side 540 is my favorite. Probably because when I land, I'm landing like my normal way, riding out goofy. So yeah, that feels good to me. But yeah, it's everyone's a bit different. So find out which one would feel good to you. All right. Alan with tons of reposts on this one, but I'll answer it. You just ask it once. I'm trying to get to them all. Alan says, "Hey Kev, what do you think about my new setup, the GNU Mule Air 2020, with the veggies underneath? Nice. I also got Union Force bindings and DC boots. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah, the GNU Mule Air snowboard is yeah, that one looks really fun. Yeah, Nicholas Mueller, one of the best snowboarders in the world. And yeah, stoked. Yeah, the whole thing sounds good. You got the Union Force bindings. I feel like that's like a good like all mountain board that you can take anywhere. Good job, man." Rob says, "I'm flying out to Whistler this weekend to hit the bike park. I haven't been since they threw us off the mountain for COVID in March." Awesome, Rob. Yeah, I hope you have a great time. I hope the weather's good for you in mountain biking. But yeah, welcome back. I hope it's good for you, man. Lucas saying, "I'm in SoCal too, and it's really hasn't been too bad. I'm outside of Los Angeles." Nice. Stefan, "What powder board are you going with this year and why?" So yeah, I've got 2 POW boards. One for like very surfy POW days, kind of like mellow, staying connected to the powder, maybe very deep powder snow going through trees. So for my surfy POW board, I got the Battalion Surfer. Like who would thunk it? But yeah, it's got the big spoon-shaped nose, so it rocks very easily from heel to toe through the powder. And it's also, you can't quite see it, but it's got like a big swallowtail on it as well. So that like cutout tail makes it very easy to like sink the back of the board and then keep the nose up. So that's and it's it's not that stiff of a board either. It's kind of like a softer POW board. So it's going to be very good for just like cruising through powder. And my other POW board I have, which is for more like aggressive POW riding, like alpine, like high mountain powder riding, is if you can see it, you can kind of see it back there, the Jones Ultra Mind Expander. So it's a more aggressive type board. So it does have like a tail on it. It's got the taper so that the nose floats a bit easier, the bigger nose. But it also has magnet traction. So the serrated edges to like help you hold, if you're on like a big mountain, on a steep face or something, it's going to really help with that. And it's also a much stiffer board. So like riding through powder at high speeds, is going to be really good with the Ultramind expander. So 2 powder boards with like 2 very different like feels for different types of riding. So the Battalion Surfer for that like cruisy tree mellow riding, and then the Ultramind expander for that like hard charging like big mountain style riding. So yeah, those are my two POW boards. Sku Kale is saying, come on guys, hit that like button. Thanks, man. Boarding rules, 49 likes. Awesome. Yeah, big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Wheels says, thank you for all the tips and helped me learn one of my favorite tricks, layout backflip. Awesome. I hope to continue progressing and I look forward to all your new videos. Awesome. Thank you so much, Wheels13. Rishi says, what do you think is the best all mountain board under $350 would be? Oh man, that's tough. That is a tough one. All mountain under $350. That's really, I don't know the answer to that question. All mountain boards typically are just a little bit more expensive because there's some more tech involved. They might come in at like 400, but yeah, I'm not sure. Good question though. I'll have to like go research that. El Stacker is sending some potatoes from Idaho. Thank you, man. Cameron saying, have you ever been to Calibogue in Ontario? No, I've never been, but I grew up in Oshawa, Ontario, if you know where that is. And I grew up snowboarding at a resort called Kirby, which I believe now is called Brimacombe. So if you know where that is, that's where I did most of my snowboarding when I was a kid. Awesome. And Kara saying, hi, do you miss being in New Zealand at this time of year? Definitely, yeah. I miss New Zealand. I love snowboarding in New Zealand. The people, the mountains, the snow, the park, everything. So the food, yeah, my friends in New Zealand, I miss all those guys. So yeah, big time. I can't wait to get back to New Zealand, but it may not happen this year, unfortunately. And Ty saying, have you ever skied? I have. When I was younger, I think the first 2 years I skied, and then after 2 years of skiing, I started to see more and more people snowboarding, and I switched over to snowboarding. And for a while, I kind of did both. I did skiing and snowboarding, especially because I was teaching snowboarding at the time, and there wasn't that many snowboard lessons. So I also taught skiing lessons, so I could like make money being an instructor. But then after I moved out to Whistler, I didn't have very much money, so I had to choose between ski equipment or snowboard equipment, and then I just chose snowboard equipment. So since then, I haven't skied. It's been a while since I skied, a long time. Awesome. Cool, guys. So that's about the hour mark. Gonna end the live chat there, but thank you guys all for coming on to hang out, to ask questions, and to just to hang out. And this is my favorite day of the week. If you guys haven't yet, definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you get notified every time I go live. Really appreciate everyone coming on. I hope you guys are having a good summer if you're in the northern hemisphere, and if you're down south, I hope you guys have been able to get on snow. Big thanks to all you guys. Really appreciate it. And next Thursday, I can't think of the date. What's the date going to be next Thursday? But next Thursday, I'll be in Switzerland. So I will see you guys on here. I'll let you guys know the exact time I'll be going live, but next Thursday I'll be in Switzerland. So we'll keep you guys posted. But thanks again for tuning in, guys. Have a great weekend. Hope you're having a good time out there. I'll see you guys in the next one soon. Later, guys.